I am John Marvin Divilla from BSTM2A, and now this is my presentation about the ethical issues. Ethical issues in the workplace are defined as instances which a moral quandary arises and must be resolved within our organization and ethical accounting. Harassment, health and safety, technology, privacy, social media, and discrimination are the five primary types of the ethical issues in the workplace. Ethical leadership. Having a personal issue with your boss is one thing, but reporting to a person who is behaving unethically is another. This may come in an obvious form, like manipulating numbers in a report or spending company money on inappropriate activities. However, it can also occur more subtly in the form of bullying, accepting inappropriate gifts from suppliers, or asking you to skip a standard procedure just once. With studies indicating that managers are responsible for 60% of workplace misconduct, the abuse of leadership authority is an unfortunate reality. Toxic workplace culture. Organizations held by unethical leadership are more than not large by a toxic workplace culture. Leaders who think nothing of taking bribes, manipulating sales, figures and data, or pressuring employees or business associates for favors, whether they be personal or financial. We will think nothing is disrespecting and bullying their employees, with the current emphasis in many organizations to hire for cultural fit. A toxic culture can be exacerbated for continually repopulating the company with like-minded personalities and toxic mentalities. Even worse, hiring for cultural fit can become a smokescreen for discrimination, which can result in more ethical issues and legal ramifications. Discrimination and harassment. Laws require organizations to be equal employment opportunity employers. Organization must recruit a diverse workplace, enforce policies and training that support an equal opportunity, program and foster an environment that is respectful of all types of people. Unfortunately, there are still many worst practices break with EEOC guidelines when discrimination and harassment of employees based on race, ethnicity, gender, disability, or age occurs. Not only has an ethical line been crossed, but a legal one as well. Most companies are vigilant to avoid the costly legal and public magnification of discrimination and harassment. So you may encounter this ethical dilemma and more subtly ways, from seemingly harmless of color jokes by a manager to a more pervasive groupthink mentality that can be a symptoms of a toxic culture. Unrealistic and conflicting goals. Your organization sets a goals. It could be a monthly sales figure or product production number that seems unrealistic, even unattainable, while not unethical in and of itself. After all, having driven leadership with aggressive company goals is crucial to innovation and growth. It's how employees and even some leaders go about reaching the goal that could raise an ethical red flag. Unrealistic objectives can spur leaders to put undue pressure on their employees, and employees may consider cutting corners or breaching ethical or illegal guidelines. To obtain them, cutting corners ethically is a shortcut that rarely pays off, and if your entire team or department is falling to meet goals. Company leadership needs that feedback to revisit those goals and evaluate performance expectation. Questionable use of company technology. While this may feel like a minor belief in the grand scheme of workplace ethics, the improper use of an internet and company technology is a huge cost for organization in lost time, work productivity, and company dollars. One survey found that 64% of employees visit non-work related websites during the workday. Not only is it a misuse of company tools and technology, but it's also a misuse of company time. Whether you're taking hourly breaks to check your social media, newsfeed of know that your coworker is using company technology, resources to work on freelance job. This little white lie of workplace ethics can create a snowball effect. The response to this one is simple: when you're working on the company's computer on the company's times, just don't do it, even tempting as it may be. Ethical issues create slippery slopes. Not all ethical breaches are as dramatic as those that make headlines, but all ethical violations are wrong. Nonetheless, when you find yourself faced with an ethical situation of leader, think about what you value most an individual and as a professional to guide your response. Knowing when to say when can be a personal ethical dilemma unto itself. While it's crucial to speak up when witnessing unethical behavior, the greater the risk to the company of your direct managers, the greater the pressure you may feel to go along or ignore the behavior, especially if blowing the whistle could put your career in jeopardy. Consider that 53% of employees who reported ethical misconduct in their companies said they experienced some form of retaliations according to the 2016 National Business Ethical Survey by the Ethics and Compliance Initiative, and reported by the New York